Cloud with my bi-monthly precious metals market update. I want to start by a challenge of a client of mine called me up on July 2nd and said, would you just look at he said, do you have a news feed? And I said, yeah, I got the Apple news feed. He said, do me a favor, anything to do with economics, anything to do with the economy, jot down, and I want to know how it affects gold. He said, just in one day. So for my news feed on July 3rd, 2022, there's 11 stories that popped up on that date. Let me read them to you and then make a comment. Inflation is making homelessness worse. Number 2, water wars are just beginning. Watch the western part of the United States. Number 3, U.S. is battling a sleep loss epidemic. Number 4, grains have hit top prices. Grains have never traded in a war market before. Prices are going much higher. Number 5, airfares will rise for the next 5 years, according to Ryanair's Chairman O'Leary. Number 6, U.S. dollar soaring for all the wrong reasons, and we'll come back to that a little later. Number 7, Chinese property developer misses a $1 billion bond payment. Number 8, Redfin's one of the largest residential real estate companies in the world, says housing market has begun its correcting. Bigger drops are expected as interest rates increase. Number 9, manufacturing hits its lowest level in nearly 3 years. Number 10, Chinese company recently purchased North Dakota farmland and the largest landowner in North Dakota. Number 11, stock market hit its lowest level in the first 6 months of the year since 1970. Now, people, that is one day, and that's not near. I could put another 11 things on there that are just as bad. But where we are in the summer, as I always like to say, is June and July are your planning months to get everything, like the government has to balance everything on September 30th to have a year end, and yet they just print more money to balance it where they can keep operating and just make the deficit larger. But what we're saying here is things are changing and changing very quickly. So what I want to next do is show you since January 1st of this year what the investments have done. Gold is the king. It's only down 4.8% January 1st till today, July 13th, 4.8%. Silver's down 17.6%, which coordinate exactly to the problems we had in 07, 08, and 09, is people worry about a recession, then the price of silver goes down because it's an industrial metal. And the two biggest uses for future electronic cars and solar panels. So the economy has to be growing. So we see this decrease in silver, and then we see platinum, also an industrial metal, down 12.8% for the first 6 months of the year. And then you have the Dow Jones down 14.75, NASDAQ down 28%, and S&P 500 down 20%, and the Bloomberg All Bond Index down 14%. So gold, again, just like in 07, 8, and 9, is the king of the jungle. And it, just think, when it has had a downturn, since then it was up. We've had a bad downturn the last month, and it's brought gold now into a negative return for this year so far. But once again, we're in the worst 2 months for demand, and we know historically that September and October are our 2 best months. So what you need to be doing, of course, is looking at all this and figuring out where you want your allocation. we've had so many people reallocating, adding 2 to 5% to their hard asset basket and selling their equity or their fixed income basket, the stocks or the bonds. And with everything I just read to you and everything else going on in the Biden administration and what's going on with everything in this world, and inflation is here to stay and it's going to get worse, it's got to go into a recession or a much higher inflation. There's no other choice. If they cut interest rates to stay out of recession, prices are going to soar. If they kill the economy by raising rates, then we're going to have a recession. It could be a deep recession. And the stock market and bond markets could double what I just read to you. You could easily have a stock market down 30, 35%. It's only down right at 15% this year as of today. So all I can say is the biggest problem is going to be when all of it hits and we have a new currency worldwide, we have a reset. And like I tell you, Singapore, which is kind of the capital of the trading in the world, says there's already 3 major entities working on a digital currency and then gold currency backed by gold, a currency dropped and backed by gold. We don't know what that looks like. Is it 50% gold for the money? And then how about dollar bucks? Look what's going on with that in Utah and New Hampshire. We currencies that are being built where the currency is actually gold. But just go to Gold Bucks and read more about it. But it's growing because these are really, they have 1,000th ounce bills and 100th ounce bills and 150th ounce gold bills. And they're getting more and more companies to take the Gold Bucks. And it's going to grow, and it could grow fast. There's 2 other states, Texas and another one, that is looking right now at going to Gold Bucks. You just build up a following of retailers, and it changes, and it starts hurting the normal fiat currency that we're seeing on the outside. The one thing for sure, things are not going to stay the same. The next 3 years, change is going to be astronomical, and everybody's going to fight for a competitive currency. And the people of us that have gold are going to be the big winners. I don't care if my gold goes down 2%. I'm much more comfortable knowing I've got something that's real and not paper. Probably most of your investments are in paper. Paper, I mean, what do you have to show I'm worth $3 million in paper? Stock paper. There's nothing real to back it. So I say just get where you want to get, but I know of nothing better than gold. The last comment I want to make is I didn't talk about what diamonds had done over this year. They're up like 10%. Many of you that got in early with us, starting in the summer of 2021, are now reaping benefits. And recently, there's only been a 2% sell-off in diamonds. On August the 8th, right here on this program, it may not be aired for a couple of days, me and Jacques Verheyes, the CEO of IceCap.Diamonds, IceCap Diamonds. Please spend a few minutes and look at it. And if you're real smart, give a call to our office, 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. And Dan or my daughter Catherine will set you an appointment, and I will personally call you, because I know of nothing that has the potential that this new system that backs to make diamonds into a currency worldwide. I'm proud to be part of it and a major part of the marketing plan for this company. And you want to hear about it, I would urge you to call me before August 8th, because I can promise you there's going to be hundreds of people when this goes out to over 7,000 people. Right now, only a few hundred of you have heard about it, and only about 100 of you have responded by making icecap.diamonds part of your portfolio, which I think is very important going forward, to have gold, silver, platinum, and diamonds, all in that tangible, because the diamonds give you one thing, the rest of them don't. And that is, of course, confidentiality and portability and the ease of moving over $3 million of diamonds in your hands. And we know what it would cost you to move $3 million of silver, a lot. But this is important, and it's going to be a common thing starting in the middle of August. So be ahead of the networks and ahead of the stampede that are going to want to hear about icecap.diamonds. So hopefully we've touched about where investments are. Keep making gold your stability. The gold is your number one investment, in my opinion, of anything. Stocks or bond is my number one holding. People say, Tom, you're holding too much. Not true, and history has proven me right. You need to take a much bigger position in gold and get an entry position with your diamonds. So hopefully you're having a nice summer. We live in interesting times, incredible times. Never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And I talked to you last week about Social Security. We're seeing that Social Security is going to go up 10% in January, and it's going to cut the lifespan of the Social Security by 15 years. I mean, that's one of the numbers I've seen. And just think of another year, 2 years out, when inflation goes higher and we get a bigger chunk. So there's a lot of interesting things going on, but all of it goes through hard assets, real assets, money you can put your hands on, with a future that's very bright for these assets. With this bi-monthly precious metals market update, this is Tom Cloud signing out.